Well, good afternoon from a bright and sunny Bromley. A bit chilly, but lovely and bright today. And welcome to day 19 of our Advent calendar reflections. It's gone very quickly, and now there is much less time before Christmas than there was before. So, Fran, can we have a look at the Advent calendar today then and see what's going on?
Oh, we're on the last row of tags now.
Oh, right.
Gosh, that's gone
Okay.
quick. And today's tag, oh,
It is, hold that up a little bit. It is a wise man.
and the verse is James 3, verses 13 to 18.
All right, so today we're going to think a little bit about the wise men, sometimes called the Magi or the King, but quite often we talk about the wise men, don't we? So we're going to think a little bit about wisdom today. And I want to begin just with a few quotes about wisdom. In Shakespeare's As You Like It, he says, "The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool." Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." And Socrates said, probably very wisely actually, "The only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing." And increasingly I feel like that these days, that I actually know nothing. Isaac Asimov, the great writer, science fiction writer, said, "The saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom." And Jane Austen in Pride and Prejudice, one of the characters says, "Angry people are not always wise people." Somebody else said, "Seek the wisdom of the ages, but look at the world through the eyes of a child." Jesus talks frequently, doesn't he, about having faith like a little child, to look on in innocence and trust. Another mark of wisdom, I suppose, is to actually admit to ourselves that our problems are not always other people's, other ideologies and other systems, but quite often the problems that we have are due to us. That's wisdom as well. Another person said that a sign of wisdom is to be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think of you. And most of the time, people don't think about you anyway, even though you worry and fret over it. So our verse today was James 3, 13 to 18. I'm going to read it in its fullness, actually, because it strikes me as quite pertinent for the age and time that we live in. I'm going to read it from the Message version, which is a paraphrase of the Bible. Do you want to be counted wise, to build a reputation for wisdom? Here's what you do. Live well, live wisely, live humbly. It's the way you live, not the way you talk, that counts. Mean-spirited ambition isn't wisdom. Boasting that you are wise isn't wisdom. Twisting the truth to make yourself sound wise isn't wisdom. It's the furthest thing from wisdom. It's animal cunning, devilish and conniving. Whenever you're trying to look better than others or get the better of others, things fall apart and everyone ends up at each other's throats. Real wisdom, God's wisdom, begins with a holy life and is characterized by getting along with others. It is gentle and reasonable, overflowing with mercy and blessings, not hot one day and cold the next, not two-faced. You can develop a healthy, robust community that lives right with God and enjoys its fruits and results only if you do the hard work of getting along with each other and treating each other with dignity and honor. When we think about wisdom these days, it becomes quite apparent that people confuse knowledge with wisdom. Knowledge is having facts, but wisdom is really knowing how to apply them correctly and well. Somebody once said, didn't they? wisdom is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. No, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. So wisdom is how we apply knowledge, whether we apply it for the common good and safely and well and appropriately. And it strikes me that there is a lot of knowledge, some of it gained validly, but some of it gained from what people say on the internet, on social media, about voting, about vaccines, about wearing masks. There's not much wisdom around in the world these days. People think they know everything because they're not prepared to say, like Socrates said, or was it Aristotle? I can't remember, that the first point of wisdom is to admit that we know nothing. The Bible has a lot to say about wisdom and about living appropriately and living with compassion and mercy and living openly with God and each other in community. And I think of that verse that we've referred to in the time of Advent, which we'll probably hear in our churches more at Christmas, from Isaiah 9 and verses 2 and 6 to 7, talk about a light coming into the world. Fran talked yesterday about the light not necessarily just being like a light being turned on the room, but light being illumination. And that passage goes on to talk about the characteristics of Jesus, who we're looking forward to coming, as being a wonderful counselor, as being a prince of peace. And that's what we're called to today as we look to the coming of Christ and try to live like him, is to listen to our amazing counselor, to ingest those truths that he says, because he says he's the way, the truth, and the life as well. It is living wisely and living appropriately with each other, learning that none of us can live without each other. We are all codependent and interdependent on each other. We're all interconnected in one way or the other. I can just see our cat's tail flicking around in the back there. Mm. But so as you look to the coming of Christ, as you prepare for Christmas, as we look forward hopefully to a better new year in the next couple of weeks, let's learn to be more wise. Let's learn not just to think of knowledge as a way to achieve power, but let's think about wisdom as a way to achieve peace with one another. So bless you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.